want them in?
Friday night football, bad weather and all, just finished up. The guys are back from Kinder, Louisiana. Technical difficulties in the first half. We gave you a pretty damn good second half. What a finish down there in Kinder between the Yellow Jackets and the Greyhounds. I have a stacked panel tonight. We got some scores, reactions, upsets, and more to talk about on tonight. So, fellas, we're going to start off. Let's give your first initial reaction to week 1 high school football. Give me your thoughts on the season that we just had opening night.
Well, I guess I'm going to start off. My Tigers took a lick tonight, but from what I understand, it was a good game. Turles just was unstoppable. I'm proud of the Tigers, the young Tigers. I think in the future, the next year or so, we're going to be up there competing with the big guys. In a couple of years, Gary. We have a young team, but we were still able to put up 12 points on Turles. They want to give a plus. But that's really, I have to say about that game. But we did have some big upsets tonight.
Big upsets, you're right, my friend. Mm-hmm. Gary, initial starts of week 1.
Man, we went to a ball game today that it was a playoff atmosphere, upsets all across the board. Man, some teams that I thought were going to walk easily got handed a loss. So it's a way to start off a great season. I was very impressed with some of the scheduling with some of these former state champions or actually defending state champions actually playing each other.
Yeah.
Teams, powerful teams, not scheduling. I call them snowflakes. I hate to say it that way, but scheduling hard teams at the first games.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I was impressed with that, Gary. You had Medicine Prep at STM. You had Welch playing against Kinder. Union and we was just speaking about Manny.
But Karen Crow and Katie Anna. Oh yeah. So look at that.
9-7.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Whole league, initial thoughts of opening weekend of high school football.
Well, I'm like McDonald's McRib sandwich. I'm gone and I'm back. It's been a while, but it's high school football. My team didn't play tonight because the storm affected them. So that sucks on my part.
Who's your team, my friend?
Fountain Blue. That's where I graduated from. And but it's high school football week 1, just like college football excitement. So we had some good games.
Keith, initial thoughts.
We had a lot of, as we said earlier, upsets tonight, and we had a lot of regional games that should have probably be meet toward the end of the year again this year. So it was a good week for sure. Good night.
Fellas, a couple of us seen some high school football tonight. Tell the crowd how much of a feeling it was to see those lights again and see those kids playing on the football field. It's been too long.
It was nice.
Most definitely. Seeing the kids, the game that we covered, and we'll go into that later, but seeing those kids play against each other, a rival as well, but at the end of the game, whenever you see these kids actually that know each other, walk up to each other before they make the lines and shake hands, walk up to each other and hug each other and tap them on it. That's what makes high school football so good. You can be a rival, or you can be play against team, but you can also be a good sport about it. I love that.
Want to add a quick note here. Mangum ends a 18-game win streak over Oak Grove tonight. We got that score coming, but the longest win streak in Louisiana high school right now has ended tonight. So keep an eye out on that later on. Folks, let's talk about our game that we just covered before we go into the other scores. Kinder Yellow Jackets, let's break it down, Gary. Okay?
Man.
Correct me if I'm wrong on anything, Keith.
Okay.
We're
Try.
gonna start off with this: technical difficulties in the first half. We apologize from the bottom of our hearts. It won't happen again. Second off, we had a good crowd watching tonight. A lot of
Right.
people showed up to the game, but a lot of people actually watched the game that we broadcast, so we greatly appreciate them watching tonight. Third off, let's talk about the game. I thought your MVP of the game was on the losing side.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I think number 32 from Welsh High School is going to make a lot of noise this year. He may get into the 1,000 club.
Yes. He put it. He had 60-some yards in one run. He's probably pushed 100 yards or more tonight.
Oh, I'd say close to 150 if ever
Yeah.
I had a bet.
Yeah, he's a heck of a running back, and I'm very impressed with him.
I was impressed with him, of course, and I think he's going to be, and he's a senior, so he's that leader. But his backup, number 5, was not a slouch either. That little son of a gun was running too. So you had a thunder and lightning type backfield as far as whoever's in there is going to go.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with that.
Well, game got started. Welsh struck first, made it 7-0. Kinder responded quickly, made it 7-7. Welsh came right back, made it 14-7. Kinder responded again to make it, no, I got that reversed. Kinder went up 14-7. Welsh responded to make it
Right.
14-14. That was your halftime score. Came out of the third quarter. Welsh made it 21-14. Then it was 21-21. We had a light go out at the stadium. We had a long delay. And then Welsh went up 28-21. And then what we said, coach decided to punt instead of go for it, and he pinned them inside the 4. And then we had a couple plays later a punt of Welsh theirself. Welsh punted the ball. Kinder gets the football with less than 4 minutes left to go in the game. They march right down the field. They score a touchdown, and then it was decision time. Will we kick the extra point and put it on our defense, or will we go for 2 and put it on our defense? And the decision was made. Let's go for 2. And let me tell you, folks, the quarterback put the team on his back down the stretch. Am I
Right.
wrong about that?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, he, as good an offensive, play that player that number 32 was. Number 3 actually got around 32 to score that 2-point conversion. They knew what was coming. It's just number 3 actually, took it upon his shoulders and said, "I'm gonna win this game," and he went around and he got it. That was awesome. That was one of the most exciting moments for the game, and it wasn't just because of one team or another. It was just an exciting play, and that's what it's all about.
What's funny is we all said that wouldn't be a good game, but the Kinder coaches said it was actually going to be a very good game.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. He said you have to come do this game because the rivalry speaks for itself. Both teams got up to play and wanted this win, and a fumble down the stretch. We thought Welsh was going to go down and kick a game-winning field goal.
Right. We talked about that.
That fumble at the end, it sucks to see because we don't want it to end like that. We want to see if they actually get a chance to win it at the end.
And Jordy, they were moving the ball.
Yes.
They were moving the ball downfield. They had the time on the clock, and they had 3 timeouts. They had everything going for them, and then that just, I couldn't see if he got hit and forced from behind it, the ball went out, or if he just dropped it. I don't know, but I feel for that young man because I tell you what, he had his team marching.
Final score 29-28 down there in Kinder. We have a comment in the section if you want to cover it right now, Keith, and then let the panel here discuss the question.
Discussing the possibility of transfer players from New Orleans region into North Shore and Florida parishes.
Including.
Yeah.
So, discussing the same situation that happened last year with Lake Charles. A hurricane came through. We seen a lot of Lake Charles teams not being able to play last year,
Right.
and they wound up on teams around the area. Could we possibly see the New Orleans teams doing the same thing we saw last year? Could we see these kids making their way to Baton Rouge, making their way to the teams that are playing football?
There's a possibility, but there's a difference. And this is the only thing that I would say it would happen if their schools were damaged beyond repair. In other words, I'll say beyond repair, to where they couldn't use it this year.
Yeah.
If it's just a flood and it went down and they just have to clean it up, no, you're not going to see anybody transfer, I don't think. But if it's like the Lake Charles schools, their schools were shut down. I mean, it wasn't just a kind of flood or anything.
This is
but
the first time in 2 years
Yeah.
Barb's been on the field with each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
were talking about that earlier about Barb. I said, how excited are those boys? But now, if you have a school that is damaged, and they can't have a team, a team anymore because of the damage, and not able to have school. Well, then yes, you give them every opportunity to go to other schools. That's how it should be. That's what happened in the Lake Charles area. That's what should happen in the New Orleans area. Now, once again, I say that, but if their school is just a little flood damage stuff, and it takes them a week, like a couple 3 weeks to get it straight, no, you're not going to see kids transfer. I don't think.
What you think, Donald?
I don't think so. I agree with Gary. If it was a damaged school where it had to take time to be repaired or anything like that, yeah, I think they'll give the kids opportunity to come and play in another region. But you're looking at teams like Edna Carr, McDonald 35. You think these schools really want to give us these players? I think Edna Carr was supposed to be featured on ESPN and on HBO.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if the school system over there and all these parents would go for that.
Well, you got to see how much damage they had, because we're saying it now, but we don't know how much damage occurred to each school. And that's the thing that we really kind of in the dark right now. But if it's like if the situation is like what happened to Lake Charles, like was it Barb and give me some names. Barb, Sulphur, Lake Charles, and
shut down. Yeah.
all these those schools were just basically said, okay, we're not having school.
Yeah.
But now, if they have schools out there, but if it's just a repair, I'll be honest with you, I don't see Edna Carr separated. I don't see that.
Okay. Let us know in the comments section where you watched high school football tonight. Who do you think were some of the games of the night? We want to hear from you in the comment section. Who do you think was some of the game of the nights? And where were you watching the game at tonight?
Come on, let me hear from Coach John Vills. Coach Damn Effusions. And Coach Reginald Laverne. Let me hear from you guys out there.
Folks, we are ready to talk about some Thursday night football from last night. Did your teams win? How did your teams fare? Did you come out on the winning side? We're fixing to find out with some Thursday night football.
Here we go.
Undefeated.
We're going to start off with Highland Baptist at Gaydon. Could Highland Baptist spoil the party against Gaydon? Yes, they could. Fellas, this is how we're going to roll with it. I'm going to announce the scores. Stop me whenever you're ready, and we can talk about the matchup, okay?
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
Highland Baptist 21, Gaydon 12. That is the final score. And Highland Baptist goes on the road and gets it done.
And I picked that one. I tell you.
Next game up, it was Elton at Vinton. And one more thing I want to say about last night. You had some games last night that didn't even get started till after 8:30 because of the bad weather last night. So you had games finishing after 11 last night. So keep that in mind also. Vinton at home, 54-19 victory over Elton. Vinton starts off the season 1-0. Grand Lake, your defending runner-ups from a year ago in Class 1A. They make a statement win week 1 against Pickering, 27-6. And we have Notre Dame getting it done on the road at Southside, 26-14. this is where I want to discuss real quick, okay? I watched this game late last night. You can ask Holly. It was about 11-something when this game was still going on.
Notre Dame beat Southside?
26-14, okay? Southside has the ball towards the end. We know they're running the wing T now.
Okay.
And I read some tweets also. Southside's inability to throw the football last night cost them this game. Is what I watched and what I read. What are y'all thoughts on that late in the fourth quarter when they needed to throw the ball the most, they couldn't get it done?
Wow.
That's shocking because I know the coaching staff over there, and you know that would just be. I guess they have no confidence in their aerial attack. I mean, that would be just something. But for a team like Southside, who last year threw the ball pretty well,
That's what I was surprised.
I'm surprised that they didn't do that. So I'm shocked.
Anybody else?
Southside got a good team, but they it's a new school, so they're getting used to everybody. And
Yeah, new sense.
Yeah, new
But at the same time, they're playing against Notre Dame. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see further on down the line.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I mean, Notre Dame ain't no easy team to open up against.
no,
You
They
know,
ain't no team to play. They ain't
Last-
no easy team to play against at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Last game on the Thursday night schedule. A lot of mixed emotions in this one. Would Lateef start off the season with his new squad coming from Kaplan? He takes on the reins at Bro Bridge. He got New Iberia coming into town. So Nish 5A school coming into the 4A, and Bro Bridge gets it done at home 28-6. Remember this Bro Bridge team from last year that we were all confused on why were they so bad last year. They've proven week one they might be back this year.
yeah,
Right.
that's a possibility.
Okay, anybody can let me know what happened to Etienne and the Jennings Bulldogs tonight at home. Leesville did not play a scrimmage. They did not play a jamboree, and they come and kick Jennings' butt tonight. 35-14 was your final score.
They shut him down.
Yeah.
You know, you had to come in there and do that. That's amazing, but that's a game plan that they carried out. They said they didn't want to let ATN beat them, and they didn't. That's what happened.
Yeah,
What you think, Holden? ATN's a special running back.
He is.
Could he have got hurt tonight? That's also something to think about.
We didn't hear about it.
I mean, no disrespect. I think Jennings is a one-trick pony. You shut down ETN, you win, and that's what happened in the championship game a few years ago when we went there. So that's
Right.
probably what they did was game plan around him.
All right, Marksville at Bunkie. This game happened tonight. Was Bunkie a one-year wonder, or is Bunkie around to stay for a while? And they proved tonight, Donald, they were around to stay for a while. They beat Marksville tonight 26-0.
wow,
Yeah.
shut them out.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, at home.
That surprised me. That
Yeah,
really did. That
yeah.
surprised me. Now, I picked them, but I didn't think it was going to be that one
I
side.
picked it too, but Marksville is in the rebuilding stage. I picked Market too.
I don't think
Because
Marksville was
I
good
know
last
Marksville condition right now.
Yeah, they were
I spoke to a couple of people that are in the rebuilding stage. You know, so it might take a little while before they get back on track.
Okay. Keith, you spoke on this last night. Which Avoyles team would show up? They're going to roll out on the right side of the bed or the left side of the
they
bed?
went on the right side of the bed.
They went out on the right side of the bed tonight. Avoyles beats Rain 22-20 at home. How about
Close game.
Avoyles getting it done week one?
That was great. Like we said, it was amazing to see that they came out and a close game, competitive game. That was really good to see. But hey, I picked them, so I'm glad they got up on that side of the bed.
Oberlin hits the road. They take on Rose Pine. I told y'all this was a tough environment to play in. I didn't expect it to be this score, though.
I know.
49-0. Rose Pine takes care of Oberlin tonight.
Oh, no.
They
Yes,
beat the dog out of them.
Anybody expected that
Excuse
score
me,
tonight?
Rose
I
Pine.
did not. I picked Oberlin.
I picked Oberlin too.
I picked Rose Pine.
You expected it to be a blowout?
No.
I've seen Oberlin play the last 2 years, and they are a good football team. Or they in a rebuilding stage. We're gonna have to keep an eye out on them.
Right.
St. Louis, Spalls, Crowley's new head coach's home opener,
I called that one.
Yeah.
and it's a beatdown, 59-12.
Oh my God.
Okay.
St. Louis gets it done. We saw St. Louis beat Barb in the Jamboree.
Well, we got some teams.
Sorry,
putting up
Crowley,
some
but
serious
Crowley-
numbers tonight,
Yeah,
huh?
Crowley's
very
been
much.
on a downhill for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, Crowley has been down for a few years.
I think they won one game last year. Or it was bad.
I think 2 years ago they went 0-10.
They did. I'll go look right here.
But St. Louis is making a lot of noise. They trying to be a contender, it looks like.
Yep.
Next game up, Maryville hit the road to take on Pine Prairie. Fellas, I told y'all, Pine Prairie was going to get it done. Did y'all jump on the bandwagon?
Yes, I did.
That's who I picked.
Pine Prairie at home, 49-16 over Maryville.
Uh-huh.
Big numbers, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Pine Prairie Panthers of a Week 1 win. North Central Mamu game.
Yeah.
That one ended in a forfeit.
Huh?
North Central was out tonight with COVID.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mamu 1-0.
1-10.
That's right.
Yeah.
That-
Gary, Keith, we looked at this game in the press box. We said, man, Bolton's beating the heck out of Beauchamp. Didn't we?
yeah, we did.
We got in the truck to come home. I said, holy cow,
Turn it
Beauchamp's
around.
winning this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Final score, Beauchamp at home, 45-38. They get it done. They were losing by a lot.
How about them Gators?
How about the
right.
Gators? New head coach in town gets it done in his home opener. So congratulations to the Beauchamp Gators.
And he brought in a new offensive set now. They're running the open, how you call it?
Spread.
5 down linemen and 3 receivers on one side, one on the other side, and then with
Spread.
running back. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to call that for.
Yeah, formation.
Yeah,
But it's yeah.
he came with a whole new game plan. Go ahead, congratulations to the Gators.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Next game up, it was Kaplan. It was North Vermilion. It was at North Vermilion, and it was Kaplan who won the game. 20-14, final score.
Right.
Where's the energy, fellas?
Man, I
Y'all
just
ready to go to Kings?
won't be long because I'm hungry.
Catholic and New Iberia. Vermilion Catholic. I told you Vermilion Catholic's a special place to play at.
Right.
But I also told you Catholic and New Iberia has some studs this year, didn't I?
You're
Yep, yep.
Catholic New Iberia 21, Vermilion Catholic 6. That is a final score. Catholic New
Right.
Iberia, a couple years ago, we saw them at the title game.
Right.
Can they get back to being a top tier team around here?
I think they can.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can.
They got the LCAs in the world to still worry about. They got the Notre
Yeah.
Dames in the world to worry about. But as of tonight, they are 1-0.
Yes.
Correct.
There we go.
Where we at? All right. It is Louisville at ERAF. A lot of people said this game was going to be close.
It
Can
was.
anybody remind me what I said last night?
Well, I know we united agree that Louisville gonna open it up.
Yeah.
Those twins will come to play some ball.
A
Yeah.
lot of people said this one was going to be close. What I said last night, this one ain't going to be any close.
Yeah.
It's
you
going to be
said.
a rout for Louisville. Louisville title push could come this year.
It starts now.
Yes?
Starts now.
Do you believe Louisville can get to the big dance?
They have the capabilities. I think they do.
Final score, Louisville 41, ERAF 15.
What you say?
Yes, indeed.
Wait, didn't we go to a Louisville Kinder game?
Kinder and Louisville,
Yeah,
they went
okay.
double overtime last year.
And
Can they be?
no disrespect, Kinder got very lucky. Louisville could have easily been the state championship game. So
Yeah.
and then they returned that quarterback and everybody. So that should be
Louisville's loaded.
that should be
Yeah.
a favorite to at least make it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you shining up? Shining up down there. We got something to talk about.
I'm still shining it. I'm still shining my Tiger.
We got something to talk about, Mr. Donald.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to let you take this one by the horns?
Yeah, let me take this one here. Opelousas High came out. I think they scored 12, and Turlins had 48.
No,
40.
40 to 12. I'm gonna say just like this. Be patient, Tiger fans. Be patient. You know, we got some new coaches. I'm not making excuses for these kids or the coaching staff, but these kids are learning a new system under Coach Jimmy Zachary, and he has some coaches that will make these kids in our community out of some believers. We just have to be patient and let these coaches coach.
Right.
Yeah, we just gotta be patient, you know.
Yeah, and you got a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
You got all these young kids that are coming up there. OHS needs to learn how to win.
Yeah, we need to come back with that winning attitude.
Yeah, they just need to learn how to win. But I think they got a good future because they got a lot of young people playing into the system.
And the thing about it, Opelousas High School, which I say every time new coach come in, at Opelousas High School, and I probably put North Central in that category. Everybody wants them to win now, right away. Now,
Right.
You got to win. You can't do that. You have to let these coaches come in and coach and build up a feeder program.
That's what's bad about nowadays. Everybody, all these fans, parents, push so hard for these coaches to get fired because 1 year it's a bad year. I mean, this ain't like the early 2000s and late 90s when Opelousas was dominant, you know?
Yeah.
And then you fire a head coach. Now these kids got to learn a whole new system, whole new group of coaches. It's like, you know, you got, like Mr. Donald said, they got to build their program, and parents are on the faculty staff, the principal staff to push for change, and you can't do that. Like Evangel, look what remember Evangel?
Evangel's
was
going through a lot
dominant.
right
They
now.
can't win a game now. And I mean, you gotta let a coach build, man. Like,
You have to build a tradition of winning. You
Yes,
have to build that,
yes.
and it has to start from your, like you say, your feeder program, and you have to build that feeder program, and it's hard. You know, Opelousas has so many schools here.
Oh,
I mean, that's we don't have just one. We have multiple. So how are you going to? You're going to either go to OHS, and you know they got segments that go to Beauchesne. They got people from here that go to Beauchesne. They have people that go to different schools.
go to Northwest,
Northwest,
go to Port Barre.
Yeah. It's not like it used to be. You know, now with the consolidated system and everything, you don't have a town team anymore. You have kids from Opelousas that play at Beauchesne. You have kids at Opelousas that play at Northwest. You got kids at Opelousas. It's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
But you got to build that system, and you got to start it from the ground up.
Well, this what we got now. We're gonna move on after this. There's a program, the St. Andrew Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these kids. You got Chris Reed or Chris Esprit. You have a couple other guys. I forgot their name, but they are starting the feeder program all over again from the third and fourth grade, and these kids are learning the system now. You know, I coach and I put on a bit of basketball in AAU games. St. Thomas More feeder program. The AAU team is Hub City, and the same plays, guys, that Hub City that STM varsity team runs in the state championships and everything. These kids in the 4th and 5th grade are running that.
That's how they learn it.
And that's how they learn Coach Danny Broussard's system. And when they get to high school, he go another championship.
Yeah.
That's by starting with another. That's how you get started with a feeder program. So I'm gonna leave that one on like that,
But
John.
it's true.
Mr. Donald, it does not get easier. Next week, Bossier comes running
Yeah,
into
Bossier
town.
come to.
Yeah.
Bossier. And this one here is kind of special to Coach Jimmy Zachary because that's some of his friends up there.
Right.
You know, but it's one thing about Jimmy Zachary. He don't run for competition.
it's not like you lost to a bad team, though. That's also not. Let's be realistic.
He don't run for competition. You know, he gonna put if it's STM or Karen Crow or KDNI, he gonna put it on the dotted line. You know, that's the only way you're gonna get better.
Right.
Moving along, St. Ed's were projected. They said that this could be the best St. Ed's team to come through. I thought last year's team was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They had a heck of a season.
Okay.
Why, will this St. Ed's team live up to the hype? Oakdale came into town. We watched them play in the Jamboree last week. St. Ed's, so far, 35-8 final score. St. Ed's gets it done. Sets up a huge matchup next week with Basile.
Correct.
St. Ed's, Basile. Can't get any better than that. Northwest, Northside. What a back and forth affair this one was. I bet this one was a fun one to watch. Final score, Northwest 33, Northside 32.
I'm happy for Northwest.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
am.
they needed it.
They
needed this
really
win.
needed that.
Yeah, they needed this when they start off the
Yeah.
season. Now, who they have next week, George?
Northwest?
Yes.
I don't know off
Okay.
top.
We'll have to
Okay.
check.
Let me tell you something here. We got to take everything we said back that we said about a wing tee, fellas. We ragged the wing tee all week,
I didn't.
and it
I still think
and
that's
I don't
You
know
don't like
I don't
wing
know
tee?
what happened down in Eunice tonight. But the Opelousas Catholic Vikings went down to Eunice and played in that stadium and beat Eunice High 26-12. Somebody make it make sense.
I'd have never, ever thought that.
Oh,
I'm
you?
sorry. Never would have thought it. Not against Eunice.
Northwest
Sorry.
plays Crowley, by the way. But what was the question?
I'd have never thought a OC team would go into Eunice.
No, because
and
we
beat
were
them.
told by a buddy of ours that son plays for OC that they might win, 2 games this year?
three at the max.
And you've seen them, so I was... Maybe Eunice is bad this year. I don't know.
I don't know if Eunice is bad or OC just played that well tonight.
We got to call a couple
Right.
of our AAU parents, Miss Cookie,
Right.
and speak to them, ask what's wrong with Eunice.
Well, the issue is that, like you said,
I hate
did
BT
OC
offenses.
just play up, or is Eunice really struggling? Now, Eunice lost a lot of good kids last year. They did, as far as, and they're coming off. So they're in they're in a rebuild.
Well, you know what? A lot of panels like us, we saw last year where Eunice scored 77 points on the team.
Right.
Okay, and we was expecting it to roll back down to do that again. I mean, hey, it doesn't always happen that way.
Well,
Hey, they
no,
said number 7
told-
from OC had a big night tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kid had a pick 6. He scored 3 touchdowns and a fumble recovery or something. He was the man tonight. Number one for Opelousas Cat. I forgot his name.
But that's
Moving along, Cecilia St. Martinville right out the gate. St. Martinville predicted to go all the way this year, but they had their hands full with,
Talk to me.
with
Talk to
Cecilia
me.
tonight.
Talk to me.
Dono, who you went?
I would say Martinville.
Me
Okay,
too.
okay.
That's why you a smart man.
Let me
Good.
get to it.
Uh-huh.
St. Martinville in a shootout takes down Cecilia, but Cecilia gave them everything they could handle. 48-41 was the final score.
What you said?
Wow.
Man, what was the defense tonight,
Right.
guys?
Y'all ready?
Man,
Y'all ready for my
Gary
projected
and I
pick?
sitting out on this
St.
end.
Martinville is my 2021 state champs. I'm on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Ed Nicor,
I don't blame you
know
on
I
that.
have
I
a
really.
lot of
if Ed Nicor
friends.
is out of commission,
I have.
I could jump on that.
I have a lot of friends who went to St. Martinville. I forgot. I think it's the running
Well,
back.
fellas,
or
let me
the
tell you,
receiver.
the
Is-
tradition at St. Martinville is for real in
Right.
football and basketball.
Right.
Basketball
I
for
can't
sure.
I can't really speak on the other sports, but I always follow football and basketball. The tradition over there, just like at Opelousas High School, the tradition over there is very
good.
yeah, it's good.
And I'm an Edna Carr fan, but I'm telling you, I hear a lot about the St.
But let me
Martinville.
tell you,
They had a
that
good team last year.
that
They
just
really
shows you
did.
too how good Cecilia is. Because a lot of people
Cecilia's
did. A lot of
always
people
been
had
good.
been
Hold
saying
on now,
that.
guys.
But look at that.
But guess who's coaching St. Martinville? Who coached Northside back in 2004,
Yeah.
2005? I
I
think.
was-
Guess who coached? Guess who coached Northside to the state
I
championship?
wasn't living over here.
What's his name? I forgot his name. I mean,
Let it come to you. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
move on to the next one,
We
Donald.
donated some.
We'll come back to it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's move
Somebody-
Yeah, we got to do that.
Think about it.
Somebody
Big
give me
Dom.
that helmet and let me rub it.
on.
Not that one. Not that one.
You want that one?
Somebody give me that helmet and let me rub it.
Leave my helmet alone.
What game we got next?
Westminster.
WCA.
Oh, Travis Blaze. Westminster.
1-0.
1-0, Mr. Donald.
1-0.
1-0.
I'm a believer.
That's
I'm
right.
on the back. I'm on the wagon. Donald, you on the wagon?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Gary,
Yes, most definitely.
Holden.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
they played?
Generate.
Generette.
Generate.
What was the final score?
Final score: Westminster 23, Generette 14.
What I said.
Show me after one more week, and then
We'll
I'll answer.
see Westminster week 3.
Yeah.
Who they play?
Hanson Memorial at Westminster. That's
That's a good
hey,
game.
That's
you can
a
be home
rivalry.
early for that one, Donald.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
live next door.
I'm
wanna-
gonna
I wanna-
right there in the press box.
I want to.
Right there in the press box. I'm gonna make sure that knee working for that. WD-40 and everything.
Yes, sir.
I want to go to that game.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
that's gonna be a game. That's gonna be a game, fellas.
Congratulations to the Westminster Christian Academy. Travis Blaze has turned that program around.
Correct.
They starting out 1-0. Look forward to seeing them week 3.
And you know, this is a big win because they dressing out, correct me if I'm wrong, John, I think they're dressing out 25, 27 players.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
many.
that's small.
Yeah,
They're very
yeah,
small.
and they need this win to prove to the student body that hey, look, y'all come out there and get a taste of this good victories we're having. You know,
Yeah.
you need that.
Donald, Keith, we interviewed Travis.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
You know else? You know what they told us that interview? They cater well.
Yeah.
They got some good cooking, and they will feed us. So,
I'm in.
Travis, what y'all cooking week 3?
That's
We
right.
hungry. Moving along. I told y'all Abbeville was fast. I told y'all they look good in their jamboree. I told y'all they look good in their scrimmage. Could they go up to Northwestern State University and take down St. Mary's?
And
Mr.
I-
Donald, but without even knowing.
I
Because
picked
everybody else knows what happened. Could Abbeville win this game tonight and Northwestern State, could they take down St. Mary in their backyard?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think won this game?
I pick Abbeville.
You think Abbeville won this game?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how much they won by.
Come
That
on.
was bad.
Final score, Abbeville 43, St. Mary 23.
Now you see, that kind of scared me in a way because guess who on their schedule?
Oh,
I think it's week 5 or week 6. My Tigers got to face them.
Yeah.
at Donald Gardner, though.
Here we go
Yeah.
They're
again.
home
Yeah,
though.
you got that home field advantage, though. You got
Yeah.
to remember that.
Here we go again, he
Probably
said.
homecoming, knowing our luck ain't down.
Yeah.
Is that homecoming?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Abbeville?
Not unless it's early.
Found out that it was the Sugar Cane game between Bruley and Port Allen last night, by the way.
The Sugar King, that's what
Sugar
it is?
Cane Classic or something like that.
Yeah, because they all
They
got
battle
Sugar
it
Cane all
out
around
every
them.
year.
Bruley always
Bruley,
had a good defense.
23, Port Allen 12. Final score.
Bruley's had a good defense, man.
Yeah.
Coach,
Always.
Coach Hoff Schooler. Congratulations on your win tonight, Coach.
Always had a good defense.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, they
indeed.
just building
Yeah.
the hype for basketball now. Port Allen will come at them for basketball.
That's
Yeah.
not even fair. You can't compare that. Port Allen's some dogs at basketball.
Have you seen Holden? Did you see who won the Battle of New Roads tonight?
Yes,
telling
sir.
Donald?
Yeah, I
Yes,
sure
sir.
Which one was New Roads?
Catholic
Told
Appointed
you
P
guys.
and
And
Livonia.
Livonia.
I told you guys.
I've
I'm
been picked Catholic Point Capee all day.
We all picked Catholic Appointed P.
Don't tell me they lost.
Let me
No,
tell you what
no,
happened
no.
down in Livonia
that
for the
sugar cane-
Battle of New Roads.
That sugar cane country.
Oh yeah, big time.
Final score. Catholic Appointed P 48, Livonia 24. Catholic Appointed P reigns New Roads. Bragging
They
rights for a
doubled up.
year. What a win for a 1A over a 4A tonight.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, hey, I know that's a still impressive
Yeah.
win, but Livonia ain't the same since
No.
Patrick Queen days.
You have
Yeah, that's true.
you
With
have
Patrick Love, yeah.
right when Patrick left that, but you have a team that is so used to running, like you said, on offense that spread, that they know how to play, they know how to keep
Isn't
people on
that
the
game we
road,
went to last year?
and
Against OC?
Livonia
And
is
that West
not the
Virginia?
same. It's not the same.
Okay, Mr. Alford said that Northwest face Crowley next week.
Yep.
I said that.
You got something?
Yeah.
Crowley.
I ain't getting no comments.
Wow.
Yep, Northwest Crowley.
Mhm.
Moving along, fellas, and we had some
This one.
dandies. We had some game of the week dandies.
The next
Did they
two
live up
really-
to the hype? That's what the key is. Did they live up to the hype, or was
Mangum and Oak Grove.
these two teams on
and Union
paper
Parish and Manning.
not lived up to the hype? Let's find out.
They won. Yeah.
Mangum, I heard they're gonna make a
Mangum
title
and
push. They lost in the semis last year to Kinder. I heard they hungry to make a title push. It could be a Kinder Lorville. I mean,
Could
it
be.
could be a Mangum Lorville.
Right.
It could be.
Well, that was a good game last year with Mangum and Kinder.
Yes, indeed. Mangum takes on Oak Grove at Oak Grove. At that, Oak Grove comes into tonight with an 18-game winning streak. Donald,
And I take it the industry is no longer intact.
that
That's
18-game
right.
winning streak is no longer intact.
Go ahead,
Mangum
Mangum, huh?
goes on the road and beats Oak Grove 27-23. One of your game of the week nominees lives up to the hype. Thoughts and reactions, fellas?
I'm shocked. I'll be honest.
Shocked?
With you.
Yeah,
I'm
especially
shocked.
Oak Grove playing at home.
Yes.
Man.
Keith, what you feeling?
I picked Mangum, so it's
Yeah.
all good for me.
Yes, indeed. Holden?
I could have sworn somebody said in the comments not long ago that they said they were gonna be a down year, not a down year, but not as dominant for Oak Grove this year. I could have sworn I seen that in a comment. Somebody said Oak Grove lost
Yeah,
a
but
lot.
it was a close game, wasn't it?
27-23.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That just tells me that Mangum had the ball probably last, or something like
You
that.
know
I mean,
Oak Grove
that's,
runs that veer.
Yeah,
That's some big boys
that's,
over there though.
that's what I'm saying.
What's Oak Grove 2A?
1A.
1A?
1A. Yeah.
How about your next game of the week caliber game? It is Trey Holly with Union Parish versus the 2A state champs,
You missed
Manny
that game.
Maid.
Lost that game.
At Manny, Donald.
Manny lost.
You
At
beat
Manny
No,
with
I
that
think they won
fireworks
too.
show.
No, I'm just
You know what
checking.
Trey
Hold on,
Holly
I'm
said?
checking.
What's that?
The
Watch
dots
me
are my
run.
pick.
Watch the back of my
The checks
jersey.
are the-
What he did? He put on the
Garrett,
show.
Trey Holly said, watch the back of my jersey.
That's pretty much what they did. What he did. I mean,
Come on, huh?
Final score,
Yes.
Union Parish 42, Manny 32.
Did he commit yet, John?
He's only a junior.
Oh, wow.
yeah, he is a junior. He's not.
But he will
the
be committing to LSU.
I'm
He's
sure.
the real deal.
He is the.
And if
Yeah,
he-
he's
he
the
might
Y'all
real
better
break-
deal.
start listening to me and Jordy.
He might
We
break
picked
Nick,
Union Parish.
he might break Nick Brissett's
You picked Manny.
all-time rushing record.
No, I picked Union.
You picked
Yeah.
Union.
Yeah.
Will he? Yes or no? Will he break Nick Brissett's all-time rushing record in high school?
I think
Probably. I think so.
so. He has 2 more this year, next
This
year.
year,
to do it.
yeah.
Unless COVID or bearing injury, he will do it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Unless something happens with COVID and
I
all
think
that.
see his record's like 9,000.
I think he's
or
going into
10,000.
the record books.
He's going to run
mid-next
for over.
year.
He's probably
Right.
going to run for 2,000 this year.
Right.
Next game of the week caliber. This one did not live up to the hype, folks.
Manny is some sore losers.
Faraday,
Yeah.
Alexandra
5A
did
powerhouse.
not live up to the hype.
Oh, they did?
Donald,
Final.
final score: Alexandra 65. Hold that face one more time.
65. They hung up 65 with Faraday.
65. How much Faraday scored?
Guess.
I gotta give him 25.
Eight.
Oh my God.
8 points. Alexander just went in.
5A powerhouse,
washed him.
Big Don.
Alexandra is a top
What you
three.
say?
Alexandria is a top 3 5A team right now.
Okay, can we say they for real, guys?
Oh, they
Alexandria's
are for
a
real.
top
For
3
real.
5A
They
team
are
right
for
now.
real.
Wait, Mr. Don, they've been for real for the last few years.
Yeah, but
And
they're
they're
for
playing-
real, for real.
Hey.
They're playing LCA next week.
No, Alexandria and LCA?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm going with Alexandria. Sorry. that-
Really? They playing
I
LCA?
think so.
No, I thought it was STM.
STM, sorry.
Yeah, there
it's
you go.
STM.
St. Thomas More and Alexandria next week.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game.
We need to find one of these high-powered
Right.
games to go to. Because if that game would be at STM, I would not mind going there.
Well, VSN cuts us out. They
Yeah.
cover
We
STM.
don't. We can just go to watch.
Yeah.
I don't have to go. We have to go what play it.
Zachary, West Feliciana. This game was made up a couple days ago. Both teams agreed to play. This was a mismatch on paper.
Yeah,
This
pretty
is-
much.
And
This was a mismatch
on the field.
on the field. I was getting ready to say that's a mismatch on the field too.
Zachary, 56, West Feliciana, 6.
A buddy put it on him, man. Hey, Don.
Yeah, Chris Ledoux.
Chris
I
Ledoux.
have to call him tomorrow.
Eli Holstein.
Yeah.
University Lab versus Central of Baton Rouge. ULab gets it done. ULab just stays talented.
Wow.
You can live on LSU's campus and be a damn good football team.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Yep.
39-7, that's the final.
Wow, that's a 5A school they beat
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 5A school they just whooped on.
LCA going for a 5-peat. All over the state of Louisiana, they said Westgate's going to take them down. A lot of people said Westgate was going to
I know I
spoil
was
their
one of
party.
them. I was one of them.
I wasn't.
What?
Until I see LCA get beat, it's hard to pick against them. I mean, you got a Acadiana in a few weeks. You got a Notre Dame in a few weeks. LCA got somebody else in a few weeks, right? Catholic of Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Something
think
like
so. They have some tests down the road to find out how good they are this year. But LCA gets it done on the road. Takes down Westgate 19-7.
Hey,
So
LCA.
Westgate held LCA under 20.
Trail Falk.
Not many teams can do that.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be. So that just tells me that either Westgate's a lot better than I thought, or LCA is
No,
not as good as they
Westgate's
were.
the truth.
Yeah.
No, our buddy used to be the defensive backs coach over there. He's not there no more, but they got that 5-star safety, and he runs that team.
Right.
Next game up, Ruston and Neville. That doesn't get much better than that. Ruston is a top 5A team right now, and Neville is always in the top 5 and 4A.
Right.
Neville at home, tough environment, history. There's history and banners all over Neville.
Right.
Could Neville win at home with a hungry Ruston team? They found a way. 27-24, Neville at home over Ruston.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this one here. 4 quick matchups. Como gets it done over Tioga, 21-20. Barb gets it done over LaGrange, 56-18. Lake Charles College Prep falls on the road in Mississippi, 40-26. And final one here, Catholic of Baton Rouge heads up to Maryland. They go to Maryland and play Our Lady and beat them 38-10. Catholic of Baton Rouge well on their way to repeat this year.
Real deal.
I
Right.
guess so. They pay all the players.
Cool. We'll keep that one under the radar.
We don't know that.
Welsh, Kinder, 29-28. Kinder with a 2-point conversion for the win. Our final 2 games to cover. St. Thomas More against Madison Prep. We said it was Zion Chris versus Walker Howard. And at the end, Holden, how that game finished?
Last second, 3 seconds left on the clock. Madison Prep kicks a field goal to beat STM.
Who would have thought a walk-off field goal between the 3A state champs and the Division II state champs? We need to see that matchup more
Well,
often.
you know what
Right.
he's saying though? All phases of their game is working. You have
Right.
special teams, offense, defense. All phases of their teams are working. Okay.
Right.
Neither one of the teams score over 25 points. Okay.
Right.
You got a defense. You got a quarterback that's signed with LSU. You got a defensive end that's signed with LSU. You know, now you have. I mean, what I'm getting at is that I'm gonna say it again. All phases of the game was working tonight for.
Look at Zion. He signed with UL.
Yeah, Zion is
Yeah,
committed
Deion
to
signed
UL.
with UL. You know, when they called on that field goal kicker, he came on and put it up there. Game over.
Here's what I like. 2 talented quarterbacks are
Yeah.
choosing to play in the state of Louisiana
Yeah,
next
staying
year.
home.
Right.
Staying
I
home.
like that.
That's
They're
what
staying
I like.
home.
I thought about that last night, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. It is final game. Acadiana, your 5A state champs. Karen Crow, your 4A state champs. We talked about this one last night. Acadiana at home in this one. Did anybody expect a 9-7 ball game?
No.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Looks like Big Brother rules Little Brother one more year.
Right.
A safety at the end
Right.
is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Donald, do you know how that game ended?
No, I don't. No.
Anybody want to let us know how that game ended? I thought I heard a ball went over the punter's head for a safety. If that's the case, what a heartbreaking finish.
For that center, man.
Tell you what,
That
I
guy-
think that is a long game to watch. Both teams running what is it?
Run the veer.
Greer? Oh my
They both
God,
run the
I bet that's
veer.
boring.
But the thing about
Probably
it
ended
is,
in an hour.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, they should have probably. But you,
Chill.
Acadiana was ahead 7-0 for the majority of the game. Then all of a sudden it was 7-7, and it just God, that's just so awesome. I can't say nothing more other than I love the veer. I love to watch the veer. I really do.
When you run it precisely like
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
Don't get
I don't
better
like
than
to
those.
watch you run bad. Some teams
That's
out there
just-
don't know how to run the veer.
You don't know how to run the veer, Jordan?
Those two teams do.
I think they've been running the veer with their feeder programs since they were able to walk. I mean, that's how just they run it to perfection. I mean, when you see them get in there and they're up there, when their hands hit the ground, you know it's going.
But you see, and I understand, like, I know it's high school and y'all love the veer and the wing tee. But for
I'm
me,
not a wing tee fan.
these kids are in college, they don't run that really in college. Like, I feel like the RPO, the spread in high school, is what helps get kids to the next level rather than, and I'm not saying that they can't be on the next level that runs a veer, but what I'm saying is, you know, if you're running a RPO is all you see now in
Right.
college. I just feel like they're better equipped to learn it rather than just a wing tee offense. Or
Okay,
something.
well, but I'm gonna tell you something on this. The veer and the wing tee and everything, it's set up for high school because that's where they're in their developmental stage. You cannot expect a quarterback in high school to run a spread unless he's been trained from the ground up. And not many schools around have that capability to do that.
No.
So, but you can take a guy that's running the veer or the wing tee, and you can actually transition them into a spread a lot easier, to me. Because a spread, you got to work on specialty teams. You got to have a quarterback that knows how to read. You got to have a running back, and you got to have receivers that know where to go. And that's what it is. You teach that at that level. You have your athletes, your true strong athletes that are at that next level. You can create that for them a lot easier. That's just my opinion.
Well,
You know, that's
that's
just
what
my
we
opinion.
spoke to Northwest about it, because Northwest is running the spread. And like you said, the quarterback and his backup all knows what each other's doing, along with the receivers, the tight end.
Right.
They all know what each other's doing. Now,
Yeah.
running the veer, I mean, that you got to have some real good offensive linemen to
Yeah.
open up that hole.
No, you don't need a good quarterback or an athletic running back. You got a good offensive line.
That's
You
what
need-
the veer is.
That's what the veer
But-
is. You control that
Yeah,
line of
but no,
scrimmage.
I'm not knocking it. That's good.
Yeah.
If you can run in high school, dominant. I'm just talking about developing the players for college. Is what I'm
Right.
saying, because they're not going to run that in
Right.
college. Well, that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
You
I
got
agree.
kids at Acadiana that could probably be damn good in an spread offense. They just don't run it there. So I
Right.
was just getting at.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bro.
I'll tell you what, not many teams have stopped that 5A veer.
Not
And
many.
I'll tell you what, a lot of teams run that veer and have clock management to keep their defense off the field. You see a lot of teams run the veer with poor defenses, but when you get up to the 5As, they're pretty damn good on both sides of the ball.
Defense is just as good. Yeah. You're right.
Quick thoughts heading into week 2. Give us some quick thoughts heading into week 2. What do you want to see? What are you expecting? And give us your initial thoughts on week 2. We'll start with Mr. Donald.
I'm impressed after week 1 with the scoring. Gary and I was sitting out right here talking. We hitting scores like 50, 60 points. Man, what a defense was tonight. Will that continue later on throughout the season? We shall see.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited to see the matchups that we've had with champions versus champion. Now, next week, will we have some head-to-head competition like this? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the schedule for next week because, honestly, with COVID and everything like that, we don't know who's going to be playing what, if it's going to be forfeited. We had a lot of teams that had to be rescheduled and play different people because of the hurricanes. But I'm just excited to see high school football is back, and I look forward to the matchups next week. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Hold Lee, tell me why the Tigers are going to win tomorrow. And tell me why you ain't going to sleep tonight. And tell me why college game day starts at precisely 7:59 a.m.
Tell you why is because the Pac-12 cannot compete with SEC. I don't care what you tell me. That little offensive line is going to get dominated tomorrow. They might put up some garbage time points, but I think LSU is going to dominate tomorrow. I'll be up at probably 6 o'clock in the morning because, like when women go shopping, this is our shopping day for college football. It's just nothing like it. And here's something I seen. It said, "Tell us who got the big win of the week." Who y'all think had the big win of the week? Tonight.
Oh, I think.
I would
In the
say,
comments, I'm reading a lot of the Union game because Union was down at Manny, 16-6.
Those people there are North Louisiana. That control it also.
Yeah, but they have some people saying, where's it at? Neville versus Ruston. So.
Okay, start off, Donald. Who you think was
in
your
our
game of the
area
night?
right here in
our
region?
area.
Oh, I got two of them. I have STM and Madison Prep game, and I have Eunice and
OC. Okay.
That's two big
Well, look,
wins right
instead
there
of
for that
saying
program.
we all knew that would be a good game, go with something out of the box that you weren't expecting. Probably the Eunice and OC game, right?
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Honestly, the shock of it is Mangum and Oak Grove.
Yeah, you stopped
You stop in history of that, and don't get me wrong, I think Mangum's a good team, but when you stop a team that's won 18 in a row, that to me is the shock. As far as Westminster shutting down ATN and Generate, I think that was a big game for them, and I think that was a shock because even though I thought that they were going to win it.
ETN is at Jenny.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I got it.
Okay.
But
That's
I
all
mean,
right.
Westminster beating Generate. But you're starting something like that.